It was a disappointing day for Nepali sports fans today as Team Nepal failed to reach the Super 6 stage of the ICC Cricket World Cup qualifier after suffering a 7-wicket loss to the Netherlands in their last group stage match. The Nepali cricket team will now look forward to exhibiting a better performance in the upcoming Asia Cup, gathering experience from the World Cup qualifier. It was another disappointment for the fans as Nepal crashed out of the group stage of the SAF Championship football with a 2-0 defeat against India. Good evening, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. The government with clear majority faces flack to endorse the budget. Efforts being made to come up with a new equation for government formation riding on the contradiction regarding the budget. 21 glaciers in Nepal at high risk of bursting due to climate change, which can lead to human crisis in the banks of Koshi, Gandaki and Karnali rivers. Authorities in Moscow and the surrounding area say a counter-terrorism state of emergency has been declared after Wagner boss Prigozhin claimed his forces were in control of military sites in Rostov. And Team Nepal's dream of playing in the World Cup ends, fails to qualify for the Super 6 of the ICC Cricket World Cup qualifier after suffering a 7-wicket loss to the Netherlands. The current coalition government has a clear majority as it has the support of more than 150 lawmakers in the House of Representatives. However, doubts are rife regarding the endorsement of the budget of the upcoming fiscal year. Various ruling coalition parties have opposed the endorsement of the budget without amendment. Meanwhile, the Minister for Finance has remained firm in his stance of endorsing the budget as it is. It is natural for the opposition parties to criticize once the budget is made public and the ruling partners to defend it. However, this time around, lawmakers of the ruling parties have also criticized the budget. The main opposition, CPN-UML, has become content as lawmakers of the ruling parties have also criticized the budget. CPN-UML has been opposing increased tax on electric vehicles, reinstatement of the Parliament Development Fund, tax on daily consumable items, tax imposed on flight tickets that directly affects the tourism sector, and tax on luxury items. Lawmakers of the ruling coalition partners, CPN Unified Socialist and Janata Samajwadi Party, have criticized the government of limiting 50% of the budget allocated for alternative highways to Nuwakot, Gorkha and Dareldhura. They have also made allegations of error in budget inscription and have blamed of allocating budget for wards that do not exist by ignoring their agendas. Analysts have attributed the dissatisfaction regarding the budget to political motives. However, dissatisfaction within the ruling coalition has increased, citing lack of adequate discussions during budget formation. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked you, how do you assess the question-answer session between the Prime Minister and the parliamentarians at the House of Representatives? 33% voted for A, effort to ensure accountability. 19% voted for B, beauty of democracy. And 48% voted for C, just a formality. And here's today's question. What's your take on the trend to interpret party statute to one's favorable condition? Your options are A, undemocratic exercise, B, no desire to hand power to next generation, and C, lack of alternative. The voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Major effects of climate change have started being witnessed on snow-capped mountain range. Various snow-capped mountains have begun turning into black rock, while risks of glaciers bursting have notably increased. According to various researches, 21 glaciers in Nepal are at high risk of bursting, which can lead to human crisis in the banks of Koshi, Gandaki and Karnali rivers. The rise in temperature has increased the risk of formation of new glaciers due to melting of snow in the mountains and the threat of existing glaciers to burst. According to a report by Isimode, 21 glaciers in Nepal and 25 in Tibet, China are at risk of bursting at any moment, causing risk of floods and inundation in riverbanks and lower regions. Excessive melting of snow in Torangala mountain triggered massive flood that caused massive damage in Melanchi Bazaar 2 years ago. 3,624 glaciers of Nepal and China are the main water sources of Bhotekoshi, Arun, Tamakoshi, Sunkoshi and Trishuli, among other rivers in Nepal. The report by Isimode states that out of these glaciers, 2,070 are in Nepal, 1,500 are in Tibet, China, and 45 glaciers are situated in India. The water levels of Chorolpa Lake in Dolkha and Imja in Solukhumbu that are considered at high risk have been decreased in a bid to minimize risk. However, the government has remained lethargic in terms of installing and operating warning systems, which has increased the possible risk of disasters in lower regions. Some of the alleged convicts involved in the fake Bhutanese refugee case who have been sent to prison by the court have started holding political parleys. Former Home Minister Balkrishna Khand, who has been detained at the central jail following the verdict of the Kathmandu District Court on 16th of June last week, has met with various leaders and cadres of Nepali Congress. Minister for Foreign Affairs N.P. Saud had reached the central jail on Thursday to meet Khand. Prison sources have said that Minister Saud, who had reached the central jail at 9 a.m., had held discussion regarding the case for half an hour. Minister Saud's initiative to meet the accused in the case filed by the government itself has been termed unnatural. Likewise, Gandaki Province Chief Minister Surendra Pandey had also reached the central jail to meet Khand. Meanwhile, prison sources have said that besides the wife of former Deputy Prime Minister Topadur Raimaji, no senior leaders have reached the central jail to meet him. Raimaji's son Sandeep is in prison as well. A number of assistant secretaries who are relatives of Secretary Teknaran Pandey have reached the prison to meet him. However, nobody has visited Indrajit Rai in the jail so far. Various alleged convicts have made preparations to file an appeal at the High Court after the Kathmandu District Court issued a verdict to detain them. Meanwhile, police have begun the second phase of investigation in the fake Bhutanese refugees case. Police have intensified search for Wenchen Jha, who has been considered one of the main organizers of the scam. The court has issued arrest warrants and police have also made preparations to arrest 12 alleged convicts, including Pratik, son of former Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa, and Neeraj Rai, son of Indrajit Rai, through the assistance of Interpol. In our Public Voice segment today, we have asked people in several provinces regarding services provided by their local levels to prevent diseases in cattle. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
फाइलकाबाट खोप चाहिँ एकचोटी लगाएको छ
छेर्ने ज्वरो सरो नामले जुकाका लागि सामान्य उपचारहरूको व्यवस्थापन अब नगरपालिकाले सेवा केन्द्र मार्फत गर्दै आएको छ
गाउँपालिकाले पशु प्राविधिकहरू आउँछन् सुई दिन्छन् उपचार गरिदिन्छन् औषधि दिन्छन्
धेरै जस्तो औषधिहरू चाहिँ हामीले प्राइभेटबाट नै लिनु पर्ने बाध्यता रहेको छ
गाउँपालिकाले दिन सक्नेसम्म चाहिँ पर्याप्त दिएको थियो
औषधिहरू लिएर आएर वितरण गरियो एन्टिबायोटिकहरू पनि निशुल्क त्यो बेला दिएको पनि छ
महँगो खालका औषधिहरू जस्तो सिरिन्जहरू भयो यो औषधिहरू चाहिँ हामीले बाहिरबाट नै रिफर गर्नुहुन्छ
हाम्रो गाउँपालिकाले खोप लगाउँछ दबाई दिन्छ
It's time now for the international update. The authorities in Moscow and the surrounding area say they have declared a counter-terrorism state of emergency after Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin claimed that his forces were in control of military sites in Rostov. Russian President Vladimir Putin says an armed mutiny by the Wagner Group is treason, adding that decisive action will be taken against them. Earlier, Prigozhin accused Russia's top military leadership of ordering a rocket attack on Wagner's field camps in Ukraine, where huge numbers of his fighters had been killed. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that the longer Moscow keeps its troops and mercenaries in Ukraine, the more chaos it would invite back home.
Sports News.
Team Nepal's dream of playing in the World Cup has ended for now as they failed to qualify for the Super 6 of the ICC Cricket World Cup qualifier after suffering a 7-wicket loss to the Netherlands today. In the Group A match played at the Takashinga Sports Club in Harare, Zimbabwe, Nepal were put to bat first and were bowled out for 167 runs in 44.3 overs. None of the Nepali bowlers could provide a notable contribution. Nepal were under pressure from the beginning of the innings after losing the wicket of Asif Sheikh when 7 runs were on the board in 2.2 overs. Nepal kept losing wickets at regular intervals and were finally bowled out for 167 runs. Skipper Rohit Paudel top scored for Nepal with 33 runs, hitting 1 6 and 3 4s. Opener Kushal Bhurtel and Sandeep Lamichhane also added 27 runs each, while Bhim Sharkey chipped in with 22 runs. Logan van Beek was the pick of the bowlers for the Netherlands, grabbing 4 wickets. Chasing a victory target of 168 runs, Netherlands romped home in 27.1 overs, losing 3 wickets. Opener Max O'Dowd was the leading run scorer for the Netherlands with a 75-ball 90. Bas the lead also scored an unbeaten 41 off 39 balls, while Vikramjit Singh also chipped in 30 runs. Sandeep Lamichhane was the leading wicket taker for Nepal, claiming 2 wickets. Nepal finished in the 4th spot in Group A with 2 points, winning 1 match and losing 3. In another Group A match played today, Zimbabwe defeated West Indies by 35 runs. Zimbabwe, Netherlands and West Indies have qualified for the Super 6 from Group A. We now have the latest updates from the SAF Championship. Team Nepal has crashed out of the SAF Championship 2023 from the group stage after suffering a 2-0 defeat against India. In the Group A match played at the Kantipur Stadium in Bangalore, India tonight, the first half ended in a goalless stalemate, although both teams created a few chances. Sunil Chhetri finally broke the deadlock by scoring in the 62nd minute to give India the lead. This was Sunil's 4th goal in the ongoing SAF Championship, while it was his 90th international goal. Mahesh Singh scored in the 80th minute to seal India's 2-0 win over Nepal. Nepal are winless in the tournament as they lost to Kuwait 3-1 last Wednesday. With today's win, India have advanced into the semi-finals with a match to spare. In another Group A match played today, Kuwait thumped Pakistan 4-0 to also qualify for the semis. Nepal will now face Pakistan on Tuesday. Both the teams have crashed out of the tournament and will be playing for pride. China's Sichuan Dragon boat team has won the Nepal-China Friendship Dragon race organized at Phewa Lake in Pokhara. The Sichuan Dragon boat team won the 200-meter and 500-meter titles today. In the final held at Phewa Lake today, Nepal's Nara Dragon boat team were runners-up in the 2 races. The Sichuan Dragon boat team bagged a total of 1.1 million rupees in prize money, securing 550,000 rupees from each category of the race. Likewise, runners-up in both the categories, Nepal's Nara Dragon boat team has won a total of 700,000 rupees, 350,000 rupees from each race. A total of 8 teams, 4 each from Nepal and China, participated in the boat races. In the group stage races held yesterday, 2 teams each from Nepal and China advanced into the semi-finals. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.